What's going on, my beautiful people? My name is Grant Elman, and welcome to an episode of Authentic Life. I've been wanting to start making more of these videos, kind of informational videos, and so here we go. I'm sitting out here sweating in the woods right now, and I had a pretty powerful experience today where I was just not in a good state. I was feeling depressed all morning, and I pretty regularly have some, mood swings and some issues, mental health issues, where I can go into a dark time and then be really positive. And I just had a really powerful experience this morning where I've been reading this book called Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. And I was reading the chapter about state, and he was saying that it's possible to change your state, change from a negative state to a positive state. And it's completely up to you. It's completely your decision. And I had this in the back of my head, and I was meditating, and I wasn't feeling very good. And all of a sudden, I was just hit with this profound experience where I was able to change my state. And I instantly shifted into a very positive mindset, a positive modality. And it was just such a powerful experience that I was left sitting there laughing, like almost hysterically laughing, because it was just such a powerful experience. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I learned from it, with the hopes that this might help some other people out there who might be struggling and are looking for ways to also shift their state. And so what I realized in this moment is that the key to having the power to shift your consciousness from a dark, sort of what Tony Robbins calls, I have written down here, a paralyzing state. Examples of this would be confusion, depression, fear, anxiety, sadness, and frustration, is to realize that you've created it. And it's a really harsh realization, and it's a harsh thing to say, but I've realized lately how true this is. And there's kind of two options that you can take from there. You can either take the route of self-victimization, where you fall into the trap of thinking that there's, hello, Mr. Fly, thinking that there's external forces or external circumstances that are causing you to feel the way that you do. Or you can take full responsibility for the way you feel. And as soon as you take full responsibility for the way you feel, this is the difficult thing to do, but it results in you having the power to be able to change the way you feel when you take responsibility for the fact that you've created your current state. And so it's such a powerful realization, and it really affected me because it made me realize that we are in control of these states. And if you can create a paralyzing state, as Tony Robbins says, then you can also create an enabling state. And the examples he gives of this are confidence, love, inner strength, joy, ecstasy, belief, etc. And the key to it is really just so simple that it's almost hard to believe, but once you experience it for yourself, or if you have experienced it for yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about, is that all you have to do is affirm that you have the power to change your state. You have the power to go from a depressed state to a fully realized state, a fully actualized state, an empowered state, if you will. And again, it really just comes down to this simple idea of taking responsibility for the way you feel, whether it's good or bad. Because if it is bad and you take responsibility for it, then you have the power, you give yourself the power by taking that responsibility to shift into a positive modality. And so finally, I just wanted to leave you with sort of a bit of a tool and a strategy of accomplishing this, which I got from, or was inspired largely by this book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is a beautifully written book. And really the key and the way that I was able to have this experience after I realized that the power was in my hands, I took responsibility for the fact that I was feeling crappy, and as soon as I realized that, I just focused on being as present as possible, being just so in the present moment. And what Eckhart Tolle says is that presence, he kind of creates this idea that presence and suffering can't coexist. And he says in his book, as soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action. He says, focus your attention on the now and tell me what problem you have at this very moment. I'm not getting any answer because it's impossible to have a problem when your attention is fully in the now. When you create a problem, you create pain. All it takes is a simple choice, a simple decision. No matter what happens, I will create no more pain for myself. So anyways, my point with saying all this is that if you are struggling right now, if you're in a period of maybe depression, anxiety, one of these paralyzing states as Tony Robbins calls them, just know that if you take full responsibility for the way you feel and you say, look, I know that I'm creating this for myself, you instantly give yourself an immense amount of power, and you give yourself the power to change that state for the better and to shift yourself into a empowered state, a state that will allow you to actualize your greatest potential, be the best person that you can be. And so I hope this was helpful to you. It's just my perspective. I'm not trying to come off as preachy or anything like that, but it was just a super powerful experience, and I wanted to share it in case it might be of any help or service to other people who might be struggling or might just find this information useful. So thanks so much for joining me, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and like the video, whatever platform it's on or what platform you're watching it on. And be sure to check out my website, authentic.life. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.